Hey guys! Today we're just going to make some simple miniature candy. I chose to make Sour Patch Kids and Skittles, so I really hope you'll enjoy. To make the packaging, I chose to use watercolors and some printer paper. As always, if you want to find a picture of the packaging on Google and then just print that, you can definitely do that as well. And of course, if you don't have watercolors, you can also use acrylic paint or something similar. I know I've talked about this in previous videos, but just in case some of you are new, what I like about using watercolors for stuff like this as opposed to acrylic paint is that when using acrylic paint, the layers tend to quickly build up and it becomes very bumpy to look at, whereas with watercolors, it stays nice and smooth. The one thing about watercolors though is that they're usually transparent, so you can't really use white on top of black and then get a very opaque look. So whenever you see me adding white highlights, it's usually white gouache, and then if I want an opaque color, I just mix the watercolors and the gouache together. The brand of watercolors I use is Winsor & Newton, and I just use their student quality line, which is the Cotman. You don't have to use amazing quality watercolors at all for this, because you don't need them to flow the same way you would if you were making a painting, so it doesn't really matter. And as for the brushes, some of the brushes I use when painting with watercolors are the same ones I showed in the video where I show my doll sculpting supplies. But I use a variety of different brands, I'm not really picky. And the reason why I don't mention the sizes in my videos is because if you go and buy, let's say a 5.0 from one brand, it might not be the same size as a 5.0 from a different brand. My best tip if you're looking for new brushes is to not buy them online, but rather go down to the craft or art supply store so you can have a closer look at them and feel the quality. Another thing is that it's not necessarily even the best to have the smallest brush, because small brushes hold less water and so therefore the paint is going to dry out faster, so I would recommend that you try out a variety until you find the one that works the best for you. Also, just a quick side note, I skipped writing kids on the back on purpose, so just in case you think it's missing, it's not. Once I was done, I sprayed it with a fixative just to protect the watercolors before glazing. I then cut it out, folded it, glued it together to form a bag, and then sealed it with glaze. The fixative I use is the same type I show in my art supply video, and the glaze is just from the brand Cady, and it's just a thick gloss glaze for polymer clay. To make the Sour Patch Kids, you can really just get away with making a rectangle, especially if you're making them in miniature scale, but I decided to make a quick version with a few more details just for the fun of it. For this part I just used scrap clay, and then once I was done, I baked it, made a mold, and then used liquid clay mixed with soft pastel to make the gummies. After baking those, I then covered them in liquid clay and dipped them in white sand, then baked again and sealed them with glaze. To make the bag for the Skittles, the process is the same one as with the first one. I just used watercolors on printer paper. Another thing, question of the day, which is now a thing, although I'm not gonna have a question for every single video. Which type of snacks and candy do you get when going to the movies? I want to make some movie snacks at some point in miniature, but I know the snacks you get varies a lot depending on where you live, so let me know in the comments. Personally, I usually only buy popcorn or chips, and then I buy candy and soda from a shop and sneak it into the movies in my purse. Yes, I'm one of those cheapos, and also different stores have a better selection, so pfft. I know that some places you can get nachos, which I already feel bad when crunching chips in the movie theater, so I'm not sure nachos would make it any better, but sounds delicious, so you're kind of lucky. And then to make the Skittles themselves, it's super easy. Just take some different colors of clay, then roll out some tiny balls and flatten them. And obviously, if you want to write the white S on it with white acrylic paint, feel free to do that. I chose to skip it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. And as always, if you have any requests for other types of candy or snacks, definitely let me know in the comments. I do have a ton of different ones on my request list, but it's always fun to hear what you want to see.